It's joke, no joke, no joke. Oh, you know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. Hiatus in the building. Lady Cuts, what up? Vince Pomo, what up? Lance, what up? Fatima B, what up? Aries 80s baby, what up? My fellow Americans, what up? Choke no joke, y'all know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. Agent Nueve, Agent 9 in the building. All right, Jivo Ron just stepped in. Ursula is here. Choke no joke. Y'all know what it is. Now, I know I ain't talking about the Tupac stuff in a minute. All right, I'll explain that in a minute. But since Suge want to come and let it all out, I guess he don't care no more. So tonight is going to be one of the most explosive episodes in the Tupac murder, assassination, conspiracy, whatever you want to call it. Tonight is that night where I could talk freely because clearly Suge don't care no more. So if he could talk the way he talking, I guess I could say with all a lot of the stuff that he told me because he just said it, right? So if you've been tuned in, and you saw the Art of Dialogue interview with Suge recently that dropped yesterday, that is a new interview, right? And as you can see, he is implicating Reggie Wright Jr. allegedly for the murder of Tupac Shakur, along with some other people. And a lot of the stuff that he said in this show, I am privy to because he said a lot of it to me. Um, some of the evidence he has sent to me. And tonight is going to be explosive. And being the fact that Reggie Wright Jr. and Vlad and them try to shut my channel down, and now he's threatening to release this audio of Suge allegedly talking bad about Pac. This is when the rabbit got the gun, right? So tonight, I don't have to talk in code no more because Suge said what he said. So I feel it's only right for me to drop it, right? Y'all are going to be blown away for this one. So if it's somebody that, you cool with or you feel like you don't want them to miss this and y'all been talking about this Tupac stuff together or you know any of the other people that you think should not miss this, now is your time for you to hit them up. But please subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate it. Please like and share this show because it's going to be one of the most explosive, trust me, explosive shows in the Tupac joint tonight. Because I'm not going to hold no punches. And I started to hit Suge before I did the show, but I said, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do the show because, Reggie's a legend that uh, he's the one that told him to go after my channel. I don't know how true that is. I didn't ask him, but I didn't want to be talked out of me just getting up here and being transparent with everything tonight. So like I said, if you not subscribed to the channel, I would Appreciate you if you would subscribe. You know, let me see who is the last person to subscribe to my channel because I can see those who subscribe. The Torture Chamber, thank you for subscribing. Um, Director Jamal Hall, thank you for subscribing. Uh, Chris, thanks for subscribing. Big Bassett, Big Bass Entertainment, Chanel, Young Kilo 17, B Pros, Henny Chin, The Tao Rose, Miss Liv, DJ MMA Productions, KC 79972, J Man, Alton Terry, D Nice 94, QP3, Ebony with an I, King RJ, Lady T, Huffy Puffy, Corey Jackson, Philip Smith, Brad Nadeau, all y'all subscribed yesterday. The Professor Network, L. LeBron, IGU Records, Lex Luthor, Chase and Chase, Christian Fender, T. Mason, D. King Wilson, Mike Will One, Dar G, Grafer, Bobby Johnson, OETO, Young Dior, Justin Epps, Christian Amor, Nikki Reynolds, MTG, Mook, P80, The Label, Mathany, Zuma, Hakeem, Dazuma, Seven Titan, Proposal Pro, Karen Stewart, Hayward Jackson, Ali Smith, Nick P. That's Papa Giorgio. Are You Easy Ortez? All y'all subscribed this week. I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Much love to all y'all right there that I just named. But like I said, tonight I don't have to hold no punches because Suge said it all yesterday. And I'm sure he's not going to mind me deciphering some of the stuff that he said with some subliminals. I know Rodent Rat Jr. is watching, but when I tell y'all, I'm going to blow y'all minds. Nobody got the information that I got outside of Suge, right? It may be a few people, but I'm going to show you that work tonight, baby. Choke no joke. You already know. All right, let's get to it. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at The Real Choke No Joke and get the Tunnel documentary. It is out right now on Apple TV, Tubi, Amazon Prime, Stash Movies on YouTube. Support me. I will drop the link for those who never saw it. And like I said, this is going to be the show. And I know y'all been fiending for me to come back with some Tupac stuff, but I took a break for a minute because I had some things I had to do. But this one tonight, woo, Man, I'm about to blow y'all minds. Watch this. Choke no joke. Let's get to the show. I just dropped the link for all y'all that want the Tunnel documentary and want to check it out on YouTube. Here's the trailer. Let's go.
Choke no joke. Yeah. It's choke no joke. Let's go. Choke no joke. Chicken choke no joke. Choke no joke. Niggas choke no joke.
What up, y'all? It's Arthur D. Austin, better known as Choke No Joke. We out here at the legendary Tunnel nightclub, or at least where it used to be. Everybody asks me what's the Tunnel. The Tunnel was a nightclub that was owned in the 90s here by Peter Gatien. In 94, Stress Entertainment started a party called Mecca. In 96, Franchise Entertainment took it over and they had it until it closed. All the biggest names in hip hop perform here, from Jay-Z, Meth and Red, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Nas, Puff Daddy and the Family, Eve, you name it, they was all here. If you had heart, you came here. But everybody didn't have heart. So it's time for y'all to enter the club most people feared to enter, the Tunnel.
The Tunnel wasn't a unique hip-hop club, and its foundations were based on the concept of bringing hip-hop from all the boroughs to one location. And it was the brainchild of Peter Gatien. My name is Sterling Cox. I was the head of security.
Alpha Grinion, Brooklyn, New York.
My name is V.
House.
Sincere from Brooklyn.
Glenn Beck. Jumping Lee, whatever Lee you want to call me.
Omega.
Ray Mack.
Diamond.
Craig.
Candy.
Big Box. Big Country.
Ramona Diaz.
Big Penna. Big CB. John Bass Raleigh.
Sean Brophy, sound engineer.
DJ Johnny Walker Red.
MC Frank Jigger, the celebrity's choice.
Choke No Joke, legendary videographer.
Supreme Bigger Figure, Big Cap, The Warden.
Big G, AKA the ringleader.
The Tunnel was a hip-hop nucleus.
It was the epicenter.
It was the domain, the temple.
It was the Mecca.
It was like the hip-hop Woodstock.
Nothing was that melting pot of hip-hop.
They kept the paradigm going.
It's almost like what Rucker did for like street basketball. The Tunnel was that of music industry.
Hip-hop had a heart. That shit was one of the main arteries.
It was actually a Mecca. That's what the original name of the party was, Mecca.
It was like a time machine. That's how the Tunnel was. You came out a whole different individual.
We went in there, young men with attitudes, and came out there wiser men with our lives.
It was definitely a starting beginning spot for artists to come and mingle and branch out and get your record heard and get your shit together, really, to go into the next phase of your career.
The Tunnel was not open or did not open. A lot of new artists, or a lot of artists that we know now, to this very day, will have never been known.
All these artists out today need to be happy that the Tunnel was fucking open. Nobody would hear none of y'all singing tight pants niggas right now. The Tunnel was a platform for niggas like Jay and Puff, Woo and Mob and DMX and Rough Riders. Niggas don't respect these niggas today, man. You need to realize, man, without them niggas, man, and their platform, it made a lot of moves for niggas today.
It happened there, it made it relevant.
Became a pillar of hip hop.
The Tunnel is the nucleus of hip hop. And I'll say all the way down south, because when the Tunnel was open, wasn't too much going on down that motherfucker. Y'all can say what y'all want, peace to the South, but New York made this shit pop. New York was where it's at. The Tunnel in New York is where you needed to be to pop.
The Tunnel was definitely a hip-hop nucleus, yo. It was just like the galaxy and bring other planets in. You have people from France, Germany, London, everywhere. If they came to New York, they had to go to the Tunnel.
Hi, from here, I come here to meet you, and I'm going to all the places. I'm going to the Bronx, to Sedgwick Avenue, McCool Hook, do the party, and Cedar, and then I'm going to the Tunnel.
It was our barometer for, how we were really gauging records, and we were really, studying the behavior of the consumer.
Saying it ain't just like how they do it now. you could just throw a record out and, you know what I'm saying, wait 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever for the shit to bubble. Niggas was putting them records on to see if them shits get that reaction. And if the shit was popping, niggas would fast track it. If it wasn't, niggas would go back to the drawing board.
Absolutely. It's the definition of hip hop nucleus. Everything was there.
Everything that surrounded hip hop, from fashion to music, hairstyles.
Like it encompassed every part of the hip hop experience, and they put it all in one building on a Sunday night.
If you go as far back to little hole in the walls and little, sensors where people start elaborating, playing the sounds and displaying the culture, to within later on you have places that was up in Harlem, like Harlem World, up in the Bronx called T Connection, just using them as an example of many other places all throughout the city. And then years later, here come places like Union Square and Latin Quarters. The last of the Mohegans of for real hip hop had became the Tunnel.
Tunnel was definitely a hip hop nucleus. It really was. And you gotta say, believe it or not, the wagon master was a one-eyed white guy from Canada, Peter Gation.
Nothing will ever be like the Tunnel.
Let's go out to the East Coast, West Coast. Put it up. No palm tree, the trees and the palms of dealers and fiends. Late night roam the streets. Weed is weaker, but it's cheaper. Not many chicks frontin' like divas. Out west, every chick's a model like Eva, and you know I'm far from believing her, so I'm G'ing her like she G'ing me. Banging in LA is a different thing. At the end, you either dead on the bang, getting out, doing better things. On Sunset, where they hang, Hollywood, where they hustle for change. Times Square here, it's the same. No matter where you go, you'll find a lane. On the west, they kick it with Kane. On the east, trees the social thing. East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your glasses, take a toast. If you rap, East Coast. When I'm on the west and I'm doing my thing, don't offer me coke or your nose I bang. Friends don't offer other deadly things. Thanks for the hospitality, we'll still hang. I won't judge you, leave me as I came. On the road to success, top of the game. Eat all the finer things in the food chain. Teach my kids to do the same. Whether East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your glasses, take a toast. If you rap, East Coast. Gotta love life and offer wonderful things. Being to travel is a privileged thing. Came back to the East, air wasn't fresh. Streets filled with trash, various people in the ass. It's easy to tell who's upper middle class. Police and racism, same as crash. Back to where they not social, where they less vocal. When they don't know you, be careful, show you around the East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap, East Coast, whether East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Pop your bottles and toss the cork. If you rap, West Coast. Both coasts are known to give you fame. Got paparazzi playing cameras your way. Got you bobbing and weaving like Cassius Clay. Most thugs turn Muslim in older days. Change their name to Allah they pray. Probably till they decay. This go out to the east and west. For Big and Pac, y'all, let's connect. Whether East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. Grab your raps, roll it up. If you rap, West Coast. Whether East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast. You can't get the West without the ES. So it's manifested that we connect. You know what it is. Choke, no joke. Learn from mistakes, baby. You know what it is. Greg on the track. Rest in peace, baby. Either war, we in now. You know what it is.
Joe, no joke, about to do a little smile treatment, you know. Yeah. Oh, shit,
It's Juke, new Juke, new Juke. Oh, you know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. Joke, don't joke. I'm in the building, baby. All right. I'm live on my Instagram too. Cuban Link, what up? ¿Cómo está? Bien, bien, gracias, homie. I'm live on YouTube. All right. And I'm going to be live here on Instagram. If you want to come to the YouTube to see the visuals, you can hit the link in my bio. Or you can stay right here. Now, Londa, what up, Londa? I see you. Right? So check it out. Make sure I got my agua here. Right? Honda Queen. So what you call it? Where do I begin? Right? So first and foremost, you know, a lot of y'all been hitting me up in the DM, you know, talking about, yo, Choke, what's up, man? You know, did Pork Butt and them get at you, man? Yo, you scared? Why you stop talking about the Tupac? Right? Did they threaten you? You know, you running away, you scared like everybody else? You know, no, that wasn't the case, right? What I learned when my page, they tried to zap my page, and I had to go and do some maintenance on my page, right? I noticed that without me going back and forth with them every day, they really didn't have nothing to talk about. They didn't have no content. So they was just regurgitating stuff that they talked about 100 times. And I noticed that I was giving them attention. You know what I'm saying? And me going back and forth with that rodent rat junior, was just giving him content, giving him stuff to talk about, even though he act like he don't want to talk about me, right? As you can see, even uh today he mentioned my name, right? Water is my favorite drink. Um, so when I noticed that, and I wasn't on for like almost 2 weeks, you know, I said, "Oh, these dudes ain't got nothing to talk about. They ain't got no life because they ain't never talking about their own life. You know, they ain't never doing nothing but talking about Suge's life or Tupac's life. You know what I'm saying? And stuff that they don't really know about or they heard of that they wasn't there to live it. You know, So that that little period of me not going back and forth with that rat, uh, it showed me that they didn't have nothing to talk about. So I chose to not continue to talk about the stuff because it was like all I was doing was proving that he was lying. And at this point, we all know that Rodent Rat Jr. is a liar, right? So um for that reason, that's why I haven't really been coming on and talking about a lot of the Tupac stuff. So I know that I missed Tupac's the anniversary of him being shot and him dying, you know, even though I didn't, come on and talk about it, I was still in mourning like the rest of y'all, you know. Um, Also want to say rest in peace to Asada Shakur. She just passed away in Cuba. So condolences go out to the family on that as well, right? I also met Mo Preem's brother. Um, I think his name is King. I can't remember his government, but I met him recently too. Um, we had an interesting conversation. I saw him at a screening, but that's for another day. Um, Maybe I'll bring him on. Um, so get into Suge Knight, latest art of dialogue interview. As you seen, it was a long one, a 40-minute straight uninterrupted Suge Knight uh laying out everything that uh some of the stuff that he said before, some of the stuff he remixed, some of the stuff he changed. um, Me personally, I think that the purpose of him coming on and doing that was to try to incriminate Diddy because he know Diddy is going for sentencing on Friday, and I believe allegedly that he's trying to implicate Diddy in this Tupac thing, which I choose to believe is bull crap. I don't believe Diddy, and I know I said it before. I felt like Diddy had something to do with it due to Keefy D saying that he offered him money and all this other stuff. I don't believe none of that's true, right? I don't believe Diddy paid him or gave Zip a half a million. You know, I don't believe that, right? I believe personally that Tupac uh, assassination was allegedly all in house. It was all death row people involved that killed Tupac, and I don't believe Diddy had anything to do with that, right? So I'm just going to address everything that was said in Suge Knight's latest Art of Dialogue interview. And if you didn't see it, you can go watch it after this, you know what I'm saying, and compare my notes or my commentary with what you hear over there, you know what I'm saying? Or when this go off, you could go watch that and then come back to this and be like, match it up. But I'm going to run it down, right? Now, how this interview started off, right? And shout out to Suge, right? It started off with Suge talking about um, the first time he seen Keefy D when he came home from jail, which would be uh, 2001, I believe, right? 2000, 2001, right? So what he says is that um he was at a Lakers game, right? And they was in the skybox, whatever. He leave the skybox to go to the bathroom, and he see Keefy D, right? And when he see Keefy D, you know, he go to approach him, right? And Keefy D uh, was telling him that he wanted to let him know that he didn't have anything to do with Buntry being killed, right? And he says to Keefy D, "Yeah, I know that, and if I felt that you had something to do with Buntry, I would have been on them already, right? Right. So he also states when he says that him and Keefy D used to be friends or whatever. So when he seen Keefy D, Keefy D said what's up. He came over to him and said what's up, and he was letting him know that um he didn't have nothing to do with what happened to Buntry. And Suge was like, "Well, if I felt like that, I would have been on you already." Right now, me personally, I don't think that Suge or anybody for that matter felt like Southside or had anything to do with Buntry being killed, right? From all the stories that we done heard, and the guy that, they allegedly said killed Buntry had no connection to Keefy D whatsoever, right? Now, here's what's weird about that, right? Suge says him and Keefy D used to be friends. And when he seen him, Keefy D was like, "Yo, man, I just want to let you know, man, we ain't had nothing to do with Buntry, man." Right? And she'll go, if I felt like that, I would have been on you already. But you not on him for Tupac? If you felt he had something to do with Buntry, you'd have been on him already. But this is the dude who allegedly shot you in the head or was in the car allegedly with the guys that shot you in the head and killed Tupac. And you see him at the Lakers game and he comes up to you to tell you he didn't have nothing to do with Buntry. And you say, "Oh, if I felt like that, I would have been on you already." But you not on his ass for killing Tupac? That makes sense to anybody? So he says, he looks around and it's people out there. So he told Keefy D, "Yo, come with me in the bathroom." You know what I'm saying? After the Buntry conversation, right? And he like, "Yo, man, I'm not nah, I ain't going with you in the bathroom or whatever. But yo, I want to tell you something, man. You know, yo, the nigga, Diddy allegedly, he paid us money to, to kill, put the hit out. He put the hit out on you and Tupac, and allegedly, he gave us the money to do it, this, that, and the third. And this is Suge saying this, right? I'm not saying it verbatim. I'm paraphrasing because I don't I should have transcribed it. That's what I should have did. Let me see something. Let me see if I could transcript it. I mean transcribe it. This way I could say everything verbatim. So he said, He's saying that you know that he put a hold on. He said first thing he told me was they didn't have nothing to do with the killing of my homie Buntry. I responded to Keefy D and said, if I thought that, I would be on you already. He said, but I'm gonna give you something that's real true, and I've been wanting to tell you because we've been knowing each other, you know, since we was kids. So Keefy D was like, look, I needed the money. Puffy and them supposed to gave me $1 million. They gave us most of the money or half the money, and that's how everything unraveled. For this is what happened in Vegas. Right? So Suge said, so, you know, at that time I'm on parole. I look to the left, then I look to the right. The whole place is packed. So I'm like, I had to go take a piss. Let's have this conversation in the restroom. And he like, man, I ain't going in that restroom with you. And good thing he didn't, because even though we was friends, but if a dude paid you to kill us, I got a bullet in my skull. And one of my best friends I had ever had in life is Pac. And he ain't here. I'm gonna beat the ish out of you in that restroom. You know, my blood was boiling. Somebody used to always say, but at the same time, I am a talented, wise man and a businessman. Since I can't do nothing to him, I might as well get him to I get to ask him some questions. So I doubled back on him and I said, what you mean? He said, well, look, Puffy used to come to the hood. He said, you can ask James. You know, him and James always been good friends. And you know, James is the one who went through some of the things and been tampered with, but it's not about James getting tampered with. It's about the conversation Keefy D told me that he told James. Guess that they baby mamas was best friends. So what Keefy D said is he told Rad James to look, it's big money in this. Only thing Puffy want to do is pay $1 million to have Pac and Suge killed, allegedly. He told me that. Right? Now, let me just stop right there, right? If you think, right, that Keefy D stood there in this man's face and told him that he shot him, or allegedly his team shot him and killed Tupac, and you think that he's worried about parole, you think that he's sitting there having a civil conversation with this nigga, right? Even if allegedly Diddy put the hit out, they carried out the action, right? You really believe that he sat there and calmly talked to a man that's telling him that he is the one that shot him and killed Tupac? And now Marv James somehow is is good friends with Puffy, right? And is in on it. And Keefy D went to Marv James and told him, yo, it's good money in this. And they orchestrated this together, him, Marv James, and Marv James was down with Keefy D, right? If you choose to believe that, right, that's you. Can you imagine Keefy D coming up to Suge Knight and telling him that he is the one that that allegedly shot him in the head and killed Tupac, and they sitting there having a civil conversation? If you believe that, okay, right? Then he says, well, according to him, it was security. Now, we know who security is. Security is Reggie Wright Jr., right? That's who he's allegedly implicating that carried out the hit along with Keefy D and Marv James, right? Security is Reggie, right? And he's saying security is the one that accepted the money and participated in it, right? Allegedly. And it was his security, Reggie's allegedly so-called homies that participated in it, right? So he says Keefy D laid it out to him in that way. And he's saying Keefy D is spilling his guts to him, right? Saying that it wasn't just him, it wasn't just Puffy, and he named names, he named people. And usually when people name names the way he was naming names, I believed him because he wasn't talking just to be talking. I felt he was also coming straight because there was a big war behind that. A war that they lost. I think it was a war that destroyed their neighborhood. So that being said, I know what I know. Being there, I know what I know later on when people told lies or never told me the truth. I know that later on when I found out certain people was suspects in the assassination of Tupac, an attempted assassination on him. I know from the conversations that if somebody was a suspect, one of the first things that they would have did was told me. I know what Frank told me. I know what I had to go through. So basically, I had homies find Frank and pretty much kidnap Frank. I wouldn't have used the word kidnap, but made Frank drive back to my house in Loserville, which is Las Vegas, just to have a conversation with me. I know that Frank also told me that the reason why he wasn't asking for his phone or his walkie-talkie is because the head of security, which is Reggie Wright Jr., told him don't, and if he had, don't have a phone or his gun, and if he had to come back to my house, that something was going to happen to him. He was going to get beat up, maybe even killed. So he said that's why he was avoiding this. And I know when I talked to Frank, I was aggressive rather to get to the truth. I know when I asked Frank why he didn't carry his gun, I asked Frank why he didn't tell us that he wasn't carrying his gun. I asked Frank, even you carrying your gun for your own, why you wasn't even carrying your gun for your own protection? You definitely would need your firearm if you're doing security for Pop. And I know that Puffy got to be one nervous mother effer right now. And it looks like it's going to be the trial of the century in real time. Did you know that it was, so Art of Dialogue asked Suge, did he know that it was a hit on out on him and Tupac at the time? He said, no, no one did. So this is the thing that bothers me the most. Getting in with somebody, no big deal. Having enemies, no big deal. Going to war, no big deal. Getting shot, we all knew that we were signed up for that. But it's a problem when the head of security, if you're doing security and you off duty cops and you getting paid to protect my artists, you do your best to protect my artists. If you getting paid to do security, which you was, and if it's true that the police tell you that these off-duty police officers who are doing security can't carry their firearms, it should have been brought to me, to the owner of Death Row Records, which is me. And I always say that because I could have talked to the mayor. I could have talked to David Chester Goodman with Rex, or Rex, whoever that is, who runs Vegas. Or I could have said or recommended some of the guys with their own CCWs and carrying a gun to do security for Tupac. But no one ever told me. I never found out about none of this stuff until now while I'm in prison. Nobody ever told me that they made calls until I seen the indictment. And I think it was on page 69 or whatever when they said that. Now, right there, he's talking about Reggie. He's talking about Reggie in the grand jury testimony. Reggie says in the grand jury testimony that he and George Kalisis, and he said it could have been him, right? Because I could pull that up. Where he says himself that he told them not to have their guns. And I'm going to put that on the screen right now so y'all can see. So as you can see right here, right? Okay. Now you were given in. Now, were you given any instructions as to whether or not you all should be were allowed to have firearms at the club or in the city while you were trying to get this business deal done? Business deal done, right? This is Reggie's grand jury testimony. And as you can see on the right, page 69. So that's what Suge is referring to, right? He said indictment, but he meant grand jury. So right here he says, so either myself, right? Let me blow it up so y'all can read it. I'm going to bring the receipts tonight, right? So either myself or Mr. Khaleesi's in the meeting that I had with all of my security who were mainly off-duty or retired police officers, and I, you hear him, right? And I informed them, or Mr. Khaleesi's. I forgot who it was, but I know I echoed it. If I wasn't the one that said it, ban them from having their firearms on them inside of the nightclub. Told them we didn't want that night. Didn't want them, we didn't want to see any guns. If they had a problem with it, don't come to work. Right? So what Suge is saying is he was never told that. He had no idea whatsoever that Reggie or this guy George Khaleesi's told these dudes not to have their guns, right? So as you can see right there, page 69 is right here. This is what Suge is referring to. Right here, 69. Right? And he's talking about Reggie. This is Reggie's grand jury testimony. And that's what he's referring to. Let's move on. So Suge says the thing that bothered him the most is when certain people supposed to be friends of mine and Tupac, referring again to Pork Butt, right? Who participated for the other side. Meaning the other side, meaning the people that tried to kill him, well, that did kill Tupac and tried to kill him. It's not a surprise. It's not surprising if you read the Bible. Judas took 30 pieces of silver to betray Jesus. Even though we came up with the idea, Pac did the album and he was Black Jesus talking about himself, but neither one of us, Jesus or God. And if they can do that to Jesus, we're just the man. It was the fact that it happened. The worst part about it is that when the receipts came back that Snoop participated, or the receipts came back that Rat James knew this firsthand, but never told none of us, and that's alleged to Snoop and Rat James or Marv James. I found out something crazy too when I was in the county jail. I don't know if it was the lawyer, the black lawyer, talking like his name was going to come to him, but he talks with over the other guy or the Trump, that the dude so-called, this dude goes in because he's great friends with Puffy. He's really good friends with Puffy, and comes in, and not only did he try to dirty the investigation of the case, he tried to make Tupac look bad. And I refuse to talk to this idiot. He went on about, wait, hold on, let me see. He went on to do this interview with this crackhead lawyer who turned out to be working for the police by a guy named by the name of Thaddeus Culpepper. Since they was frat brothers, he going to interview him, and he didn't know Suge or Tupac. He just met me in 2015 or 16. So he didn't know us in the 90s. But since they Q frat brothers, they talked. And they bothered me to the point where it bothered him to the point where he even he said he even now this lawyer that he's talking about right now would be Ben Crump, right? Now when he's talking about the frat brothers, now he's talking about Ben Crump, and Ben Crump interviewed this dude, his homie. This dude was my little homie. This dude who I really had love for, right? He's talking about K-Dub, because Ben Crump interviewed K-Dub. And that I can't think, Unsolved, I think it's called. Right? And then he said this dude, Ben Crump interviewed the dude who was his homie, his little homie that he used to have love for. And he said, and this dude told on himself, right? He said he basically told this Crump dude how he blocked them in, and how he came to the car and smoke was coming out the car. Suge said that part wasn't true about the smoke coming out the car, and that he damn sure wasn't slumped over no steering wheel. He said it was real active. There was a lot of active shooters. It wasn't just one shooter, right? Let's stop right there. Now, basically, in a nutshell, he's saying, allegedly, that K-Dub was one of the shooters, allegedly, right? Because he's saying, first he says, K-Dub blocked us in and shit, and then he told Crump, and when he told Crump, he basically told on himself. What would he be telling on himself, right? He said that what K-Dub said, it was smoke in the car. He came up and he wasn't slumped over the stand with it. All that is a lie. And basically, he told on himself. And it wasn't just one shooter, it was several shooters. It was a lot of active shooters. It just wasn't one shooter, right? And he got shot in the head, right? And he grabbed Tupac and he pulled him down. He was on top of Tupac and Tupac wasn't on top of him. But when we got ourselves together and deal with what we was going to deal with, it was more active shooting, right? What is that telling y'all right there, right? Now, before, when I talked about K-Dub told Crump that he was sitting in the car, he seen the shooting happen, he jumped out his car, and he ran around to the passenger side of the BMW, and he went up to the car and said, "Yo, Pac, you all right? Yo, Suge, you all right?" Right? Now, when Suge tells y'all he's talking to Crump, and he like, this nigga told on himself. What would he be telling on himself for? And then he follows that up with, it was active, it was shooting. When K-Dub come running up to the car, allegedly, right? He's insinuating that he was shooting, right? Allegedly, right? And he dove on Pac, this, that, other. And then he's saying it's even more active shooters, right? But for him to say that he told on himself, what you think he's saying? And then before that, what did he say? He was on the other side working with the other side. The other side would be the Crips. Suge was with the Bloods. Let's continue. Go back a little bit. He said, and that the two was frat brothers, and it even bothered him to the point where he even interviewed a homie, the homie's K-Dub, allegedly, right? This dude was my little homie. This is the dude who I really had love for. And this dude told on himself, right? That's blatantly telling you right there, without him saying his name, when he say he told on himself, what would he be telling on himself about? It's only one crime that happened that night, right? He said he basically told this Crump dude, how he blocked them in and how he came to the car and his smoke was coming out the car, and that part wasn't true. I damn sure wasn't stumped over the steering wheel. But he didn't say he was stumped over the steering wheel. He said he was gripping the steering wheel, looking in shock. That's what he said. He didn't say Suge was stumped over the steering wheel. He said he was just, yo, Suge, you all right? And Suge was just holding the steering wheel, shocked, stunned, right? And he said it was real active. If you're in the streets, you know what real active means. Shots is going off. It was a lot of active shooters. Shooters, not shooter, shooters. And then he says, it wasn't just one shooter. He said, and I got shot in the head because I grabbed Tupac and pulled him down, and I was on top of him. He wasn't on top of me. I was on top of him. But when we got ready to get together, get it together, and did what we was going to deal with, it was more active shooters. But everybody did this for show and tell. So everybody told their stories for small change. Everybody tell their stories who never met Tupac, really been around Tupac, but he didn't know me. Everybody talk about Pac and myself. Said most of these people pound on their chest like they know everything. Saying their names is not important because what they talking about is not important. He's talking about Reggie again, allegedly. Because they're not important. Allegedly talking about Reggie again. He said some of them tell a story but never met Tupac in their whole life. And they weren't there. He's talking about Whack. Right here is where he allegedly talking about Whack. Because we know Reggie met Tupac before, and Reggie was around Tupac. Whack was never around Tupac because he goes on to say they came around Death Row at the end of 2001. That's Whack 100. So that's who he's talking about. That be telling all these Tupac stories and all this stuff about Tupac and never met Tupac or was around Tupac because he didn't come around Death Row until 2001. That's Whack 100. He said Pac had already moved on. But at the same time, when you put all the pieces together, the paper trail is so deep because you'll see these group of people that's still cool with this group of people. And then you see these group of people work with this group of people. So allegedly, he talking about Whack and how Whack is over there cool with Keefy D and whoever else, and how allegedly Ray J's cool with Diddy and stuff. They allegedly, right? And anytime you take a lieutenant to the sheriff's department, to change the whole investigation up, right? I think he's back on Reggie, right? and in control of the whole investigation, which could be probably Reggie and Greg Caden, allegedly, you'll never get the truth. But they used that incident of me losing my best friend, me almost losing my life, me getting sent to the prison because of that, to bring down his life. He said, I've been through a lot, but I do know this. If God give you a crown, man can't remove it. I know this. Tupac died, but was still living. I know the bottom feeders, guppies, as you should call them. They did not die, but they never started living. Still today, they can't get noticed unless they unless they speak about Tupac and myself. That's Reggie Wright Jr. That's his whole channel is built on telling about Suge life, Suge this, Suge that, Suge this, Suge that, Tupac this, Tupac that. Never nothing about his own life, right? It's all about Suge and Tupac. He's talking about Reggie, allegedly. That's a curse. I'm quite sure they karma is so deep that most people lost everything. They lost their self-dignity, they lost their respect, they lost their ugly ass chick. Their kids became something that they never wanted them to be. They went from being a boy to a girl. Some of them can't even wipe their own ass. Well, I don't know which one of them over there got a trans kid, but we know who can't wipe their own ass. I think most people who crossed us that day suffer every day. They probably saying, Lord, today will probably be a good day to die. It was an attorney that I helped out. Paid for his children in college. Allegedly, this is David Kenner. He paid for everything that he is who he is today. And the life that he lived, he did because of me. Being Tupac, in all these years, I never knew he participated in the assassination of both of us. And he's alleging that to be David Kenner. What's so sad about that, Tupac fired this attorney And we know that Tupac fired David Kenner. And he fired another person, which is Reggie Wright Jr. They took that was the perfect bait to get recruited, be against us. And this guy is the one who used to always tell us watch how you talk on the phone. The feds is probably listening. Somebody's listening so you could get in trouble. Do not talk on the phone. According to Michael Moore, who was in the car, when he hears the guy come over, the radio comes through. After the person says, got him, basically saying that they got us. And this is the person which was the black voice. He says, well, none of the homies and he said it didn't sound like one of the homies. He said this person sounded like a white guy, right? He hears a white guy come over the air saying, don't talk over the radio. And he said that when he allegedly talked to David Kenner, he says to him jokingly about that conversation. And he told this story several times. I'm gonna paraphrase right here and not go verbatim. I'm gonna get back to this, the transcript of this, right? He told this story several times already, where he reached out to David Kenner and was like, "Yo, that sound like you. You the one that will always tell us, yo, don't talk over the phone and stuff. Watch how we be talking over the phone. You know, people could be listening." And he said, I'll go back to this. Jokingly, when he found out about this conversation, he jokingly had that conversation with allegedly David Kenner at the prison where he's at now. And this was this was earlier this year. He said, I talked to this lawyer and I said, hey, he said that they said a lawyer type of guy said that. And he says that he said to him, that's something that you would say. He said, I never seen a guy get so agitated and angry. And he would usually, he always talks, he a short, he a little short, ugly motherfucker with a big ass head. He said usually when he talks, you got to turn your head because his breath always smell like dog doodle. Because I guess of the fake teeth and all the surgeries he had in his face. He looked like the real Joker. We know exactly what he's talking about. He's definitely talking about David Kenner, right? Allegedly. But he would talk to me like, hey, sir, how you doing? Like he talking through his teeth. This particular time when I was joking, saying that saying that he said, "Don't snap on me. How could you probably say that?" He said he got so excited like he was about to die. He said that he never had a walkie-talkie. He never had a radio. It could not be me. He said that. He got so angry and frustrated about it, he made himself look guilty. So another day, he sent my boxes away and to another bigger person or to another, I'm going to say another lawyer. I'm not going to say that person's name, but I know exactly who you're talking about. And he sent them that box with all Suge's legal files. And Suge says that it was a blessing in disguise. He said somebody from up top sent it to him, right? But they was that same lawyer person. They said, "Hey, I'm going through your stuff and I see this old school phone or something." I said, "What old school phone?" "It's something." I said, "Was it like a walkie-talkie or something?" He said, "You know what?" He said he told the person, "You know what? I don't want you stepping in something that you have no business stepping into. Because it might be real critical, you know? It sounds like a serious situation." I knew it. I felt it. I felt it. So I said, "Take a picture of it and send it to my tablet." When they sent it to my tablet, I went from angry to concerned to saying, "I know now why these mother effers don't want me out of prison because it's going to be trouble." So I doubled down and called them back. Said, "Hey, I thought you said that you never had a radio. You never had a walkie-talkie. But I found your radio. I found your walkie-talkie, and you was hiding it in my legal work, idiot." He didn't want to represent me anymore. He didn't want to talk to me anymore. He went to the state bar to get them to get me off, get him off his case, and I haven't done anything wrong. And to say that he cannot represent me. The communication will never be the same. All because he got caught with his mother effing hand in the cookie jar. Right? So it seems like Pac is coming from the dead and laying all the facts out himself. Right? Now, for all y'all, right? So recap here. He's alleging that David Kenner sent his paperwork over, all his boxes, all his cases, everything, to somebody else. And then he said he had the person take a picture and send it to him. Right? Now, Suge may lie about a lot of things, right? But I'm gonna let y'all know, he sent me the picture too. And there go the walkie-talkie. That was in his files. That's the walkie-talkie that allegedly somebody may say, hey, no talking over the radio, or the got him the night of the what you call it. And I'm putting my logo over it so all these motherfucking YouTube jackers don't go and try to grab the picture and want to run with it. But that is the walkie-talkie that the person took a picture of and sent it to Suge. And Suge sent me that picture. That was the walkie-talkie. It was in his files. And which is making pork butt look even more suspect, because we know he was dealing with the lawyers at the time, and we know that he was contacted over the walkie-talkie in Vegas. But that's the walkie-talkie right there in his files, right there. And like I said, I'm only covering it up so all these niggas can't go and grab it and just run with it. But that is the walkie-talkie right there. Now, let's continue. You tell me that this is going to be the trial of the century. I mean, you got to remember one thing. I'll remind all you guys of something. Ray J, well, I'm not going to even say names. This artist went to his other guy, supposed to be his manager or whoever he's supposed to be. That would be Whack 100, allegedly. And he put this here. Not Corey from Southside, Corey from New York. That, hey, Puffy got to get this resolved. Keevy D is threatened to run his mouth. But I don't know why it's a big deal. Keevy D been running his mouth. And if nobody do anything to get him out, he got a lot to talk about. All of a sudden, another guy goes to bail Keefy D out. Well, we know he's insinuating that people from Diddy camp reached out to Whack, and Whack was trying to bail him out for Diddy. which I don't believe at all because he said that Wack was trying to bail him out for somebody else before. And I can't remember if that's public or not, so I'm not going to say that person name. But however, that person was on the blue side. And the person excuses was, "Oh, I want to do a documentary on him." We all know that was whack, allegedly, when the whole thing with Vlad and in the courts, and they went and did that whole back and forth. And we want to get him out because maybe we may even want to do a movie on it. Don't be stupid, stupid. The dummy already did a book. If he want to do anything, he already said it in the book, which don't mean nothing because a book ain't got nothing to do with a TV series, a documentary, or a movie. It's just another form of income. Just because he did the book, don't mean that's the end all be all. So you don't need him. You already have the book, but you just can't take his book and make a movie out of it. The real reason they wanted him out is because they didn't want him running his mouth. Then his lawyers tried to bully him. I know I said this before, but hey, they really tried to bully the bully. I ain't going for that ish. They tell me, hey, we know if you don't give, they say, hey, if you don't give a declaration saying he wasn't there, we bring you down to the Las Vegas County Jail and mess up your program. And and then they double down. They double down to the point where they offered me $1 million. And then what would make the facts so factual because you'll take Rat James to bring him on your show. Why? How would Rat James know? Well, maybe he did know that these lawyers offered $1 million or offered me $1 million to say that he wasn't there. What would that have to do with you? And how would you know? And who is who? You only been a street punk. You never had anything nice in your life. You only been known as an alcoholic, drunk, smoking crack primo, and telling everybody and coming from a person being abused young man, getting sexually abused allegedly until you moved to the neighborhood in 82. That's a long time of sexual abuse. But I'm not going to make fun of sexual abuse because there are real victims out there. But it's not fair to him. So I apologize to him for saying those things because I shouldn't make fun of him because it's true. I give my apologies to James. Let the past be the past. Let's move forward. Now, let's get to the point where I contacted this lawyer and said, hey, it's not ethical. It's not legal. But you effing with the wrong one if you think for some change, I don't give a F how much the money is that I will betray Tupac. I will betray Tupac, and my loyalty can never be compromised. I've always been the same. I believe in what I believe in, and I stand up for what I stand up for. But back to all what? Now back to all the circle of the situation. So that wasn't true about Keefy D. If that wasn't true about the killing with Keefy D, then why would Corey personally give money to Keefy D's son? Well, that is alleged because Keefy D's son already came out and said that he don't know Corey from New York, and Corey never gave him no money. Keefy D even came out and said Corey never gave him no money, and he don't know Corey uh, Jacobs either. He said, after I told that lawyer, the 702 lawyer, 702 is the area code for Vegas, talking about Carl Arnold. And he got on the situation. He knew that I was reaching out to him. He got off the case. Why would someone who has nothing to do or didn't know me at the time or didn't never meet Tupac and never met him, they gonna go and pay for Keefy D's lawyer? They gonna go and get it all involved. They gonna all go get involved in all this ish. Why is everybody behind the scenes trying to pay for this? Well, let me say this. Carl Arnold didn't get off the case for that reason. Carl Arnold never wanted to get off the case. Keefy D got new attorneys, and somebody else came and paid for Keefy D new attorney. Carl Arnold, as you know, he was there still to represent Keefy D in the that assault trial, but Keefy D dismissed Carl Arnold as his lawyer because somebody else paid for Keefy D to have new attorneys. That Carl Arnold didn't quit. You think he would have gave up this high profile ass case? That if he won, he'd be way bigger? No, Keefy D got somebody else to pay for a lawyer, and that's what happened to Carl Arnold. Keefy D dismissed him as his lawyer, and the person paid for his new defense. That's what happened. And y'all should know by now who he's talking about with that. And then he goes on to say, uh, why Reggie allegedly, well, it ain't no alleged because Reggie says it in the grand jury, that why he told security not to have guns. And why did Wack go and try to bail Keefe D out? And then he goes on to say, that allegedly Reggie is the one that got Keefe D the book deal, and he the one that set him up with Vlad in the Art of Dialogue and Cam Capone and all those. Like if he had a problem with Keefe D, why would he go and set him up allegedly with a book deal and set him up with Vlad and the Art of Dialogue if he had a problem with Keefe D, right? Now we know lying ass Reggie, he tried to get in front of that, talking about, oh man, I did that when I see him joking about Tupac breakdancing when looking like he was breakdancing when the shots went off. So I lined him up. Whatever, nigga. Whatever. You was his friend for all these last 20, 30 years and shit. And then now you get mad at him because he said that he looked like he was breakdancing when he was shot. Why wouldn't you be mad at him for allegedly killing Tupac? You sound stupid, nigga, and very guilty. Right? And then he goes on to say how a joint, some chick, his mom's came on to visit with him and another chick, and how Suge allegedly got some dome or some top or some oral sex on the visit and skeeted it all in the girl mouth. And then soon as she walked out the visit, she slobbed Reggie down. Allegedly. And Reggie responded to that today, talking about, oh man, you sitting there talking about I kissed the girl after she sucked your joint off on the visit. You know what I'm saying? Wait till I let her hear that audio. I'ma let her hear that. Nigga, you was eating Suge babies, nigga. Ew. Pork butt. You was eating Suge babies. Yo, you was eating Suge babies, bro. Wow. Ew. Ew. Nasty. Ew. He was hot about that, right? So what you call it? Oh, so tomorrow they talking about they gonna drop the audio of Suge talking bad about Tupac. We will see. You know what I'm saying? We shall see. We shall see. But if you want to catch up on all this, go on the Art of Dialogue. Go listen to the interview. I'm not going to go through the rest of it because the rest of it is just him talking about how Reggie allegedly got Keefe Dita's book deal, and it's a fact that he set him up with Vlad, or the dialogue, and he was doing his publicity. And if he had a problem with it, why would he be doing that? Why would he be setting him up? And then you turn around and talk about, oh, you lined him up to get him arrested because he was talking about Tupac looked like he was breakdancing. You wait 30 years to line him up? If you was a fan or you had love for Tupac or whatever, you wouldn't even met him in Orlando Anderson to give him no money to go testify for Suge. Yet alone be his friend for the last 25 years and then try to set him up to get arrested? Come on, my nigga. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You trying to cover your tracks, buddy. And it is only going to get worse for you. Now you got Suge again implicating you in the murder of Tupac Shakur. So when this trial comes around, Reggie, and if they drag Suge ass down to the county jail, he got to testify. They really don't need his testimony because he already said it online more than once that you had something to do with it. And he was the owner of Death Row Records, right? He is the only living survivor that was in that car. And he's implicating you in it. All of us in the YouTube universe, we can allegedly see that you're guilty. You played a part in this. So what are you going to do when Suge testify against you? What are you going to do? And like I said, I honestly feel like Suge is doing this because of Diddy sentencing on Friday. But trust me, y'all, I'm almost certain Diddy is coming home on Friday. Like, I can't see them with his classification and him doing a drug treatment program and a domestic violence program that he's not going to get out of there, even if he got to do house arrest for the rest of whatever they give him. But look for Diddy to get out on Friday, y'all. Watch what I tell you. Choke No Joke. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be back with more tomorrow. You know what it is. All right? Peace and love. Yeah.
Jack Brown. You know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. Never did I think hip-hop go this far. Never did I think I see Diddy behind bars or kills. Penitentiary scars. The man act. Is it going too far? Back. Y'all industry rats. Y'all whack. That's 100. On Pyro. You'll be trapped like Pac. The go viral. Gene saw the nuts of gyro. At the freak off and Diddy too. But plug shopper, free door stopper. Nigga, you don't know if you a criminal or a cop. But you're next to be locked. Ask Keefe D. Telling on yourself on Vlad TV. You dumb nigga, right? You never be me. And I never be you too. Telling on YouTube. Saying on the step. Giving up myself. What the fuck I look like? My name G-Dap. Comb Legacy Doom. Will the bad boys see time like loan? Your extortion fell through. You friend to no one. Like the moon. What did you do? Sat back and watch him get groomed. Only badge in the room. You and wifey drunk the juice. same lane. Yeah, that Diddy let hang. And now he chain gang. Damn, you rocked him, fella. Didn't you? For the mozzarella. Did it for Wolf and his mother, D-Ferg and Kerrborough. Nah, nigga, you did it cause your ass ain't thorough. And you ain't from the boroughs. Joke, no joke, you know what it is. This one's for the whole earth, you know. When they get disrespectful, I just go to the booth and kick the truth to the young black youth. Joke, no joke, you know what it is. Keep on hating, you know. Yeah, you know what it is. Joke, no joke, either war. Rest in peace, Fuegos. Don't ask me why. We here now. Choke, no joke. Grego, rest in peace. You know what it is. Say I neglect her. I love my child. You make me go wild with your parenting style. Only for her, I wear this smile. Cause inside, it's really a grin. If I was a drink, I'd be drunk off gin. I'm not a quitter, I fight to the end. You not gonna dictate who life I'm in. Just mad cause I went from boys to men. Like Wanya and Brandy, the road end. I say it in French, we are thin. I do not like you, you're not my friend. You make me cringe, get under my skin like veins, blood, bagging a cane. Don't know too many dudes that go through these things. Deal with your bullshit and still stay sane. Yo, brains with a blue early in the game. Yeah, deadbeat, I'll make you dead me. You wanna see me locked up like me, so I kick back and let the preacher preach. Wisdom of his word, get me through each day. Emancipation on the way. I'ma celebrate from September to May. Till the casket close, we go our way. I just pray she love me one day. Happy Father's Day, I love my child. 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 You the worst type of chick, bottom of the pile. Tell him it's his and know that it's mine. Mine's is his, then run for years. What the fuck was you thinking all those years? What if she needed a donor and needed me there? The family even questioned her hair, cause she came from your womb. Do you think that is fair? I remember the day I called you out of nowhere. You heard my voice, all you heard was air. I bet you were hella scared. You said forget her, you better without her. Her's my daughter, this is an order. Try running again and you'll be crawling, cause I'm coming through like Mike Duggan falling down. This time not fucking around. I wanna see it now and I don't care how. You do it, I do it, move quickly. All the years that you ditched me, and right now you going to hitch me to your back. Take me where she's at, and don't worry, there won't be no clapping. These are the years of me rapping, producing, directing. For you it'd be hectic. I love my child and I don't regret it. Happy Father's Day, I love my child. 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 Take me to court, bitch, that shit don't hurt me. I've been to court for worse, still survive, see? I know it's not about the money. You file to hurt me, I'm not a deadbeat. When it's all good, you know it's all sweet. When it's all hood, you gotta bear with me. Your girlfriends say take me to court. How you don't ask and then go to court? You know when you ask, things get brought or paid. Emancipation on the way, we'll hang out any given day. Your relationship will fade away. We will get close, you will fade away. Like the baby mama that ran state to state and had to run for about 8 years. Some say how she lived. That might satisfy the father but ruin the kid. Trust me, I speak it cause I live. Ain't another song that info give. That's info for who follow the kid. You went half on the baby, chick you played me. Kidnapped my babies and made them hate me. Y'all ladies don't know, y'all drive us crazy. Fellas, if you out there and you miss your baby, I love my child. Choke no joke. This go out to all the fathers out there that miss their babies. They took our babies from us over money, child support. Now they don't even know us. This go out to you. Choke no joke. Yeah. It's choke no joke. Let's go. Choke no joke. Chicken choke no joke. Choke no joke. Niggas